Namaste, everyone. Namaste. And before I start off sharing my experiences, I would like to offer my gentle pranams at the feet of Brahmarshi Patriji and Swarnapala Patri ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So yes, before I talk about my experiences, I would like to introduce myself. I am Sree Marni, currently living in Telford, UK, and working as a product delivery manager in an IT consultancy firm here. And my journey into meditation happened 2013, 7-8 years ago now. And just to tell you briefly what brought me into meditation. At that time, I was a mother. I had a child who was around a year to 2 years between. And he was going through a lot of, not a lot, probably a few health issues at that time. And being a new mother and bringing a child up in a Western culture, and my parents were telling me what I should do with the child. My friends here, who are quite a few English friends here, would tell me how to bring children up in the English way or in a different way that's being done here. So having been, there was a lot of pull and push between the two, between the Indian culture and the Western culture. And I really, as a new mother, really didn't know what was right, what was wrong. I was doubting a lot of the things I was doing. For his health conditions, I was blaming myself. I think there was a lot of things and the additional responsibility of a new mother here, along with being a full-time working parent and juggling all that. It was getting very, very stressful and led to a lot of arguments at home as well. And I was losing that internal peace and I was looking for it at that time, and I didn't know how to get it or what I needed to do. There was a lot of internal turmoil going around me. I was feeling guilty. There was a lot of internal sadness filled within me. And that's the point I actually came across Pranahita and Kiran at a family event here in the year 2013 through a common friend, Rajshekhar. And yes, since then, there has been no looking back. So this was an event where I met them, and there was a meditation sessions over the 2 nights that we were there, a short introduction into meditation, and we did a guided meditation that Pranahita led us into. And after that, I really wanted to know more about it. I talked to her one-to-one and tried to understand, how her journey into meditation was, what she gained through it. And it really inspired me at that point. And I did that for over the 2 days at that event, came back home. And, ironically, even though I knew how important it was, but everything else became a priority in my life again. And I couldn't devote the time I needed to do meditation. Everything else, my child, all his duties, all my family duties, my work duties became important to me. And it was, again, finding that elusive time to do meditation. And at that time I suggested, could we do it? Because we were all in different parts of UK and we couldn't physically come together and do meditation every day. And so we started doing meditation over Skype in 2013 at a fixed time. It used to be 9 o'clock every night. So I could do all my chores, put my son to sleep. And it was really, I did that continuously for a number of months, and I could see a lot of transformation that was happening. And when I say my transformation, I don't have anything external to describe it, because even before meditation, I had a lovely family. I had all the things, that you need to live a happy life, technically, all the materialistic things. I had everything. I had a secure job. I had lovely friends, lovely family, very supportive parents. I had everything even before that. So there's nothing materialistically that's changed after coming into meditation. Not a lot, but a lot has changed internally. I mean, I just feel like this is a new me that has been born since coming on this path. So for me to describe anything that has happened to me, in words is very difficult, because it's a lot internal that's changed to me. So I wouldn't say I had a lot of third eye experiences or astral travels. None of those have really, come in my experience. But what I can tell you is living in the present moment, enjoying what you have at that point of time, not getting worried about the future or regretting about the past. I think those were the really the changes that have happened. So I'll talk about it more as I tell you through my journey. But in that year, 2013, after doing regular meditation, the first book I read was You Can Heal Your Life. That was the one that was recommended by Kiran, and I read that. And I always used to love reading. When I was a child, I used to read a lot of Robin Cook, Agatha Christie novels. And but coming into family life, I couldn't devote that time. So I was really glad to get a book that was recommended to me, and I really loved it. It was very inspirational as well. And after that, the book that really changed me, that I picked up next, was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. The first time I read that book, I really didn't understand it. I was just like trying to read and see, oh, okay, it might make sense, it might make sense. But the first time I read it really didn't make much of a sense to me. And I think the second time I read that book, I was in the year 2014. I was pregnant with my second child. And that year is just blissful. I meditated regularly. I was reading Power of Now. I was reading Richard Bach. There was a lot of things I was doing, very mindful. I was juggling a lot of things still. I was obviously looking care of my first child. I was pregnant with my second one. I was working full time. I was going up for a promotion, so I was taking on more additional responsibilities at work as well. But none of those stressed me. I mean, I couldn't believe myself. I was just able to absorb a lot of things without reaching that point of stress. And I think now looking back, all that was thanks to meditation. It really tipped me off. Even though I was torn in different directions, I could manage myself really well and also look after myself, because while I was pregnant, that was very important for me. And having my child in my tummy, and I would say was the best year of my life. It really was. It was just so blissful, again, indescribable through words. And at that time, I also attended a session by Ayappa Pindi sir. And that was the time where he was spreading the message of Mahavtar Babaji. And Rajshekhar had arranged that session one of the evenings on a Friday. And before that, I never had heard about Mahavtar Babaji. I didn't know who he was. And actually, I had an appointment that evening to meet a friend. So I initially didn't think I would make that session up as well. But during the daytime at work, I just Googled who Mahavtar Babaji was, and it really touched me in some way. So I made time to attend that session. And again, I tell you, friends, that's one of the most wonderful meditation sessions I've attended. That you reach that state of no mind, no place. I reached that. Until date, again, I probably haven't managed to achieve the similar state again. But looking back, that was just so peaceful. And I went to meet my friend. There was a party, and everybody was saying I was glowing. They thought I was glowing because I was pregnant, but I knew why I was glowing. It was just that internal immense joy I felt in that session, and it's stuck in my head ever since. And I've told this to Ayappa sir as well. It's never left me since that day. So that happened in 2014. And then I had my child, and this time, none of those, the mother stresses. I didn't feel that with my second child. I enjoyed every minute of my motherhood, and even being pregnant, I enjoyed every minute of it. And after having my baby, even though there were lots of sleepless nights, he was a very, very high energy, very cranky at times. I still enjoyed every minute of that. And that transformation again has happen only through meditation for me. So that's been my journey through the initial years, and all through helping me as a new mom to balance the various aspects of my life and bring up my children in a more meaningful way, in the sense where I could spend that quality time with them. And since then, I have continued meditation. There have been days on and off a bit. I wouldn't say I'm very, very, very regular. There have been times when I have missed them, and what I've learned is I don't regret it. Sometimes I just go with the flow, and it's always there. I think what meditation a lot of people think is sitting down and closing your eyes, and spending that half an hour with yourself, which is very good, but carrying that through the day, that mindfulness through the day, is even more important, because how you react to situations outside of that meditation hour, how you control your emotions or how you express your emotions, how you talk to people, how do you express your empathy towards people, towards situations. And those all things are equally important. And again, meditation changes you in the way you react. You stop reacting, you start responding to things. And I probably would say I'm quite a patient person, and it's come through me from my mom. She's immensely patient, but there are times which I can get a bit short-tempered, and I had some issues where I couldn't control sometimes my emotions, and sometimes where I felt in a group of people. Sometimes there were times where I have a lot of friends. I am very good at making friends, but sometimes I'm driven a lot by them rather than what I want. So if somebody asks me to do something, even though I didn't want to do it, I'll be inclined to do it because I didn't want to upset them, or I didn't want to lose that friendship. That's how I ended up doing a lot of things which I really didn't want to do. Again, through meditation, I have learned to say no. If I didn't want to do something, there's a nice way to say no. And it doesn't affect that friendship at the end. It doesn't affect. What I've learned is it's okay to say no, and people who really understand you would still continue that friendship with you. It's not a point about hurting them. And you get your priorities right because you don't drain your energy doing things which you really didn't want to do. And that's another thing I have learned through meditation and trying to implement that in my life. So yes, so a lot of transformations that way, which is all very individualistic to me. And the other thing I would mention is I started taking meditation sessions at my workplace as well. So one day I just mentioned it to, we have a gym here, and the lady who runs the gym is very nice, and I have a really good rapport with her. And I mentioned to her, because we do a lot of things for our physical health. So the gym obviously has a lot of equipment. It does a lot of classes on maintaining our physical health, but there was nothing at the workplace which was addressing mental health of people. And we all know now how important mental health is to the well-being of the employees, which then results to the well-being of the company. So there was so she was very recipient to it, and a lot of people who needed to sponsor that event were very receptive to it. And that's how I started taking meditation sessions at work. And they have been very well received at workplace as well. And it's become like more of a, not just a meditation session, but also a support group where we can talk about things that we don't usually talk about to our colleagues. Any stresses at home, any internal feelings that you don't feel like sharing it to outside world. We became a support group where we can easily do that. In that environment, and be there for each other, not just in the happy times, but in times where we needed each other as well. And that's how the workplace meditation sessions started increasing over through lockdown, because we have all been working from home since March, and I continue taking them online as well. But there's a little bit pause because the workload has just at the minute become unmanageable. So I have paused them for the minute, but I'll restart them again in the new year. So that's how I have connected to a lot of people in the workplace as well through meditation and all the mindfulness exercises I do there. And the other thing recently, after lockdown, I've been involved with the Chandra Sir's Buddha CEO as well, and I was involved with their cognizant program early in the year, and then recently supporting their various batches of 40-day sessions. And again, I look towards Chandra Sir as a mentor of mine, and I have shared a lot of things that have helped me in my professional development as well. And again, that's given me, the experiences that I shared in those sessions by people from across the globe is again very inspirational. And again, it just opens your views out to say that there's so much you don't know, and once you're willing to learn, all that can come to you automatically. You just need to be open to that learning, and that's happened to me in this lockdown period. And the other thing that I am keen on through meditation is taking it to schools and young children, because I really believe in the quote that the Dalai Lama said, that if every 7-year-old in the world meditates, then we can eradicate violence in the world in one generation. And that's something that I really, really believe in, because, teaching elders is one thing, but if we can start inculcating this practice of mindfulness, this practice of meditation from a young age itself, it'll stick with them through the life. They have a tool. They have a tool where when they can't control their emotions or can't control how things are going in their life, they have something to fall back on. And that's for the emotional intelligence, that's really key. I think a lot of schools focus on IQ, but I think it's the EQ which is very important to get these children to develop, because by reading books we can get our IQ, we can increase it pretty easily. And we have seen that the way we all have been brought up is, we have been asked to just learn books and give that out in the exams, and that's how we have learned things. And that is okay. That is okay to get a job. That is okay to, earn your living. But I think more important with that, or equally important to that, is developing your EQ as well, your emotional intelligence, where you know how you can deal with situations in life which are not under your control, how you can interact with people, how you can control your own emotions, how you can say things and express them in a way that people can understand. All that is equally important. Those life skills, yes, they are equally important. And I don't think schools teach that. And this is where I am really interested in taking these sessions to schools, to young children. And over here in Telford, I do volunteering at schools, where I do teach them meditation as a mindfulness activity in those sessions as well. And during the lockdown, along with the Sri Lakshmi here in Bristol, we did a lot of sessions for young children as well, and they were very well received. And we could see, listening to their experiences, it was amazing, because those innocent souls, how they take this on is just brilliant. I think a lot of us adults have a lot of lessons to learn from those little ones there. So yes, I think what I would say is it's my journey in meditation has given me a rebirth. I feel like I was reborn through this process. The new me is just internally at peace. I just feel at peace all the time. There are times I do get angry still. I do express my emotions. I do still enjoy all my worldly things. I love the good things in life still. I push myself at work. I am still doing all that. But what I have changed internally is being at peace with whatever it is, accepting things. Okay, things may not work out because there's a bigger plan to it, which you may not know. And another thing I have learned through Chandra Sir's sessions is creating your own reality. I'm a firm believer of that. I'm really, really, it has worked so many times in my life that your thoughts create your reality. So earlier, I used to think that changing situations around me would make me happy. And I would do that. Like, I would probably go and look after materialistic things to keep me happy, that piece of jewelry or that car. And I used to get them. And I used to get that happiness as well, but it was very momentary. After a few days, I was looking after the next thing to keep me happy. And that cycle would just go on, go on, go on. But through meditation, it's what I found that you can still go behind those things, but they don't give you everlasting happiness. Everlasting happiness is within you, and that's been the biggest transformation in me through meditation. So yes, friends, I think I have spoken enough here, and I think we're all really glad to be here in this session. And I just just continue practicing and live life to the fullest, enjoy every minute of it, because every minute is actually a gift to us in this life, and we have been given this gift because we deserve it, and let's express our gratitude to it. So yes, thank you, friends, again. Thank you very much for welcoming me in this session, and I'm really grateful. Thank you.